Whether you are a longtime or newish listener to our show, you've probably picked up on something important about our approach. We take seriously the challenge of living with integrity and trying to make a positive impact on our community and relationships. And we also try not to take ourselves too seriously. There is a lot of absurd and hilarious stuff that you run into as you try to live a good life. And actor Nick Offerman's work strikes this balance, too. He was on the show back in 2018, and there's a link to that charming conversation in our show notes. And this week, he's on the show again. I invited him back because I've been watching his work over these past few years, and I just keep thinking, this guy is making really interesting choices. There he is in The Last of Us on HBO, playing a grizzled small-town prepper in a gay romance. Or in the movie Sovereign from this year, he plays a real-life anti-government activist. Or last year, when he played the MAGA hat-wearing plumber in the movie Origin, the book based on Isabel Wilkerson's blockbuster book Caste, about social hierarchies and oppression across cultures. Nick is pushing us to see more dimensions in American characters that we think we know well. And alongside that, he's kept writing books like Where the Deer and Antelope Play, a celebration of American landscapes where, among other things, he writes about buying a bunch of expensive outdoor gear with Wilco's Jeff Tweedy before they head out on a camping trip with writer George Saunders. Nick has a new book out. It's a woodworking book for kids called Little Woodchucks, Offerman Woodshop's Guide to Tools and Tomfoolery. And it's a real how-to. If you have a child in your life that you'd like to make stuff with, try this book out. It just came out this week, and he launched his book tour at the Berry Center in Kentucky, which houses the archives and celebrates the work of Wendell Berry, the 91-year-old agrarian writer and poet who is a hero of Nick Offerman's.
When I first read Wendell Berry's stories in the late 90s, it was a profound, life-changing epiphany. And I started writing him letters saying, look, you're the shit. That it's over. I'm not your fan like you're Mick Jagger. This is it. And all I want to do is get your work in front of people. It should be required reading. It's Shakespeare and it's the Bible.
This is Death, Sex, and Money. The show from Slate about the things we think about a lot and need to talk about more. I'm Anna Sale. Are you having trouble sleeping? Waking up in the middle of the night? Waking up exhausted? I have been there too. It might be time to try the melatonin-free CBD sleep gummies from Cornbread Hemp. Cornbread Hemp produces America's first USDA organic melatonin-free CBD gummy. Fall asleep and stay asleep with CBD sleep gummies that are infused with full-spectrum flower-only hemp extract and include natural botanicals like valerian root, lavender, and chamomile. They're vegan, gluten-free, and made without a sugar coating, just clean, natural ingredients. And right now, Cornbread Hemp is offering 30% off your first order. Just go to cornbreadhemp.com/DSM and use code DSM at checkout. That's cornbreadhemp.com/DSM, code DSM for 30% off.
When it comes to what your family eats and drinks, you know your choices matter. You're the expert because you know what fits your life. And getting it right starts with good information. That's why America's beverage companies are sharing more information about our ingredients at goodtoknowfacts.org. No spin, no judgments, just the facts straight from the experts for more than 140 beverage ingredients. Visit goodtoknowfacts.org.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome.
Hello there. Nice to see you.
Nick Offerman became famous when he was nearly 40. He was just turning 39 during the first season of Parks and Recreation when the world got to know Ron Swanson, the very grown man who worked for local government. When Nick was on Death, Sex, and Money before, we talked about the years leading up to fame, growing up in a small farming community in Illinois, falling for theater, and his leap from Chicago stage work to Hollywood, where he met and fell in love with Megan Mullally when she was already a famous TV star from Will and Grace, and he was not. In the years since that conversation, I've been following the mix of what he's making and how he's using his platform of celebrity to make us laugh and make us think. I feel like there is something you are really, there seems to be a larger project that you are at work on about how we think of each other as Americans. Do you think that's apt?
Okay, so you're looking for a meaningful conversation.
We don't have to start. We don't just start with the big thesis, but
Jesus.
that's my. So I want to. So that's my impression.
I mean, it's kind of an inscrutable thing, you know. I'm not a macro thinker, and I don't sit down and say, okay, what is my big plan here? You know, if I could do, let's see, write 3 books and 1 Ava DuVernay movie.
He's actually done 2 Ava DuVernay projects: Origin, the book based on Isabel Wilkerson's book Cast, and he played Colin Kaepernick's dad in DuVernay's TV series Colin in Black and White. He also recently played the president in Alex Garland's Civil War, set in a dystopian near future.
Today, I can announce that the so-called Western forces of Texas and California have suffered a very great loss.
And Nick won an Emmy for Outstanding Guest Actor for his role in the post-apocalyptic HBO series The Last of Us.
I'm sorry. For what? Getting older faster than you.
I like you older. Older means we're still here. What?
I was never afraid before you showed up.
And in his latest film, called Sovereign, Nick plays anti-government activist Jerry Kane, a real man who was a prominent voice in the sovereign citizen movement, which characterizes American financial and governmental institutions as insidious threats to freedom.
The bank's just a corporation, a corporate fiction. Are you a fiction?
No.
Am I? I'm sitting right here in front of you eating this burger. There you sit, drinking your whatever that is, Sprite or Mountain Dew. Where's the bank? Where's their burger and fries? How come they get to eat ours, but we never get to have any of theirs? You follow? You're the one with the power. You're in charge. You're the sovereign. They're your servant.
I know.
We the people.
I don't ever see things that I do more than once. Like Megan and I would watch Will and Grace and Parks and Rec when they would air, and we've never seen them again. And then there are things that we've done that we've actually never even seen. But this movie, I've been to see it 4 times now in the theater because, I mean, just thinking about it makes me really emotional because I think, and it has nothing to do, like, all of these things are despite my participation because I can't objectively enjoy myself because I'm watching myself play a sport. I'm not saying, wow, that's the best home run anybody ever hit. I'm saying, maybe bend your front knee a little more next time. But the work mainly of Christian Sweigel, the writer and director, it's just an exquisitely, beautifully emotional film. And Jacob Tremblay is my son. I mean, just
the little boy from Room. I was like, why do I love this person? Oh, I've loved him since he was a child.
He's just turned 18 just now. So he was 16 or 17 when we shot that. And so he is to be despised for his sublime talent and beauty. And also, I'll make the complicated statement that Dennis Quaid is gorgeous in this movie. You know, an actor who's been amazing in our pantheon of film over the decades, even though he strangely, you know, has very different political beliefs than the rest of us who made the film. And so to now get to your question, one of the ways that I choose my projects, the main way, is from the writing. And so that's partly why my career can maybe look a little hodgepodgey, because I'm never looking for anything in particular. It's just the writing that comes my way organically. And so my very smart agent sent me Sovereign, thought it was special. I read it and I said, I think I have to do this.
But what I'm saying is, hang on a second, not so fast. You want what now? You want a bailout?
Right.
You want my tax dollars? You want my home? You want my home. Okay then, fine. Take the damn house. I don't want it anyway. Where do I sign? You want me to wash the windows before I leave? But then what I want to know is this. Where's my money? Where's my promissory note? Where's all the money you made as the result of the fractionalization of that promissory note when you reloaned it out over and over, 9 times for me, 22 times in total? Where's all that?
You play the father both as a charismatic, bombastic leader and also with tenderness towards his son that he's trying to rear up in his image. Tell me how, when you thought of this man, why did you want to play this man?
It's because Christian script is so good at simply humanizing this guy. Like I saw myself in him. That's what any great novel does is make you feel like, oh fuck, this could be happening to me. And holy shit, it's quite a ride, this thing called life. Now, the thing is, Jerry Kane was a real guy, and there's a ton of video and audio available of him talking on the radio and him doing his seminar performances. So that was a huge piece of research. But really, honestly, even to this day, like fully researching and scrutinizing all of the language that Christian gave me, all of this weird, I am not a citizen, I'm here under color of law, I'm not Nick Offerman, I'm representing Nick Offerman, all of the utterly bonkers sovereign citizen vernacular, I understand it, and I know what they mean by it, and it still is just utter gobbledygook to me. And so it wasn't the research of that, it was seeing that as the weaponry that this Don Quixote was particularly tilting at the windmills of the government with. But most importantly, the way that Christian infused the pain and need of this guy's life into that life choice, into that career choice.
Yeah. I mean, pain and need. And also what I felt was the terror of losing your freedom and feeling surrounded by institutions and authorities you don't trust.
Yeah. Yeah, very much. And so when I read it, it immediately made me think of the January 6th rioters. And there are reportedly 300,000 sovereign citizens in our country. There's QAnon, there are all the different conspiracy theory groups. And all of these people probably would want to have a nice town and get paid and do jobs, but they're being told by streams of misinformation. They're being kept on their back heels while being victimized by insurance companies and banks and so forth and so on. And so it's a very long way to coming around to say, with a couple life choices, I can easily see myself in this guy's shoes.
Well, you also chose to play a plumber who shows up at Isabel Wilkerson's house in a MAGA hat in Origin, the movie based on her book Cast. And I loved you in that role. I felt you made me love, like, you made me see this plumber as more than you. I saw your hat, and I also saw a lot. I saw your relationship with your father. I saw, what causes you fear, what causes you hurt. It was very short. You're just in that film for moments, but it was exhilarating.
Well, thank you. And that I should have, instead of the paragraph I just rattled off, I should have just said, watch the plumber scene. Because Ava did it much more eloquently than I just did.
My mother died a few months ago. What about you? Is your mother still alive?
No, she's not. Died in 1991, 52 years old.
Goodness. That's not old. At all.
Sure ain't.
I'm just really grateful for what you said about it, because that's the whole point is, well, I'm going to do this in the hope to try and use whatever goodwill I may have engendered in the world to sort of make people think about a plumber in a MAGA hat, which, by the way, as soon as we called cut, I put a Cubs hat on top of it. And because when I had to walk out to my trailer, we're in a neighborhood in Savannah, and I was like, I cannot imagine if
TMZ gets you on your way to the trailer.
Totally. Nick Offerman's a secret asshole.
Your father has been mayor of your hometown, is that right?
He is right now, yeah.
He is still in office.
Yeah, he just was reelected.
And what are local politics like in your hometown right now? What is the report from your father about how one leads?
I mean, I talk to him with some regularity about it because I'm really proud of him. My mom and dad are the greatest citizens I've ever come across. I mean, they really are. They lead these lives of service that I can never aspire. I do my best to chase them in the full knowledge I can never get there, because just generationally, I'm more selfish than they are. And that's part of the fire that drives me to do too many projects.
Beat the selfishness out of you.
That's right. But because if I give myself free time, then I'll be like, well, what if I get a yacht and a bunch of expensive cigars? The politics of Minooka, from what I can gather, part of why I think I instinctively wanted to get out into the world is because it is, by definition, historically, it's a conservative, small, white farm town. There are 3 or 4 churches. Now it's become much bigger. The suburbs the commuters have reached our town, so it's exploded in size from like a couple thousand to, I don't know, up to pushing 15 or something. And so what Dad has to deal with are practicalities, which have become his dad was actually mayor for a time back in the 80s. And things are very different. A data center is moving in. There are several towns negotiating. We have to get water.
AI is coming to town.
Many more people have arrived, so we need more infrastructure. And so he's just dealing with practicalities and suddenly dealing with budgetary issues that are, 10 or 20 years ago would have blown our minds. But he's a very wise guy. He's very slow to get excited about things. So he's very judicious. He listens to everybody. And there's a village board. One of my uncles is on the village board. we've
quite
got
a power base there.
We've got the
Offermans.
Lions Club. Yeah, we've got we control the waterfront. And I'm glad because they're very good people. And my uncle, humorously, is like a total curmudgeon. So even like he famously says no to everything. So like whether it's a new park or a plumbing initiative or whatever, he's just like no. That's the Ron Swanson in the town. Is like, no, geez, what are we doing here? But I mean, and all of this, and he has his good conservative reasons, for denying these expenditures. So I mean, when I talk to Dad about what's on his mind and what's going on in the town, it's simply that. It's the bureaucratic headaches of dealing with making these things happen, dealing with something, a data center means hundreds of semi-trucks coming through. Mm-hmm. So that means roads and that means facilities and so forth. So it's like equipping what was once a quiet little farm town with the modern world.
Coming up, Nick and I talk about woodworking and making things with your hands, and why it's fun for him to show other people's children how to do it themselves.
I can't say enough about the magic of teaching another person, large or small, to drive a nail into a board. It sounds so dumb. It's like dig dirt with a shovel. Well, if I take you out in my yard and we dig a hole and plant a tree, you will feel like a goddamn superhero because you have never done it. You've never manipulated a spade with your foot and leverage, and you're like, holy shit, I'm feeling something my great-great-grandparent felt. If I can fell a tree with an axe, if I can build a boat and paddle it across a river, I'm telling you, you will feel better than anything you've ever done because you've become part of this lineage of humanity, of civilization.
I love getting to talk to someone like Nick Offerman because he's someone I feel like I know through his performances and other public appearances. But it's not until I get to sit down with him and ask direct questions that I really get a sense of who he is. That's why for an upcoming Slate Plus episode, we want to give you a similar opportunity with me. Is there anything you are wondering about me and want to ask? Maybe I said something in an episode that you want more clarity on, or maybe you're curious about my life outside the show, routines, my hobbies, really anything at all, how I organize my money, or how I work with the team. If you have a question, record a voice memo and send it to us at deathsexmoney@slate.com. And then Slate Plus members, you're going to get a special episode where I answer those questions. Or I tell you why I'm not going to answer some of them. I will do my best. Again, send a voice memo with a question for me to deathsexmoney@slate.com and put the words Ask Anna Anything in the subject line. And speaking of Slate Plus episodes, we have a great one coming this week. We have been talking a lot about jobs on the show lately, how annoying it is to apply for jobs these days, how AI is changing the job market, what happens when private equity becomes your boss. This week in your Slate Plus feed, you'll hear a conversation about manufacturing jobs with a former assembly line worker about how all the idealizing of factory work hits him. I talked to the writer Franklin Schneider, who wrote a piece for Slate about how the dream of a domestic manufacturing resurgence feels akin to a midlife crisis in a marriage to him. Like, you want something different, but have you really thought through what you're pining over? He says his time working in a cookie factory in Iowa was not something he'd recommend.
People were openly miserable. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever had a type of job where you go in and you think, I just want to make it to the end of today, right? Or sometimes you think, I just want to make it to lunch. This was the type of job where you were like, I just want to make it to the end of this minute. It was that bad. And everyone there was miserable or they were high.
If you are a Slate Plus member, you can find my conversation with Franklin Schneider in your feed right now. If you are not yet a Slate Plus member, we really would love for you to join. These memberships are so important for the health of our show, and we are deeply grateful to everyone who supports us. In return, you get ad-free listening to our show and all of Slate's podcasts, and you get these bonus conversations like the one today about factory work. Sign up on the Death, Sex, and Money show page on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or you can just go to slate.com/DSM+. Thanks. Did you know that if you are using detergent pods, you may be cleaning with microplastics? That your clean might not be as clean as you think? Check out Blue Land, because their products meet the highest standard of clean, and they're effective yet gentle on the planet and your family. Blue Land was named an EPA Safer Choice Partner of the Year, and they make cleaning sprays and toilet bowl cleaner to dishwasher and laundry detergent tablets using formulas that are 100% microplastic-free, made with certified clean ingredients free from chlorine, bleach, and harsh chemicals that are safe to use around your house. And it's so easy. I have these tablets of hand soap right underneath my bathroom sink. When the hand soap gets emptied, I pull out a little tablet, I open up the reusable container, I put in a fresh tablet, I fill it up with water, and I have hand soap again. I don't have to throw away any plastic. I can just get to cleaning my hands and move on. Blue Land is on a mission to make it easy for everyone to make sustainable choices. Blue Land products are independently tested to perform alongside major brands and are free from dyes, bleach, and harsh chemicals. And Blue Land has a special offer for DSM listeners right now. Get 15% off your first order by going to blueland.com/DSM. You won't want to miss this. Blueland.com/DSM for 15% off. That's blueland.com/DSM to get 15% off. Cooler days call for layers that last, and you can make Quince your go-to for quality fall essentials that feel cozy, look refined, and won't blow your budget. I am enjoying this awesome linen dress that I just got from Quince. It's something I can put on and immediately feel like I have an outfit on. And then I can layer on top of it a sweater or a cardigan when I get cool during the day. And look, again, like I put an outfit on. A little sophisticated, a little easy, just like, it feels good in these clothes. Quince has all the pieces you need for a fall uniform. Think 100% organic cotton sweaters, premium denim that fits like a dream, and luxe outerwear that you will wear year after year. Like their wool coats look designer level but cost a fraction of the price, and the quality is just as good, if not better. Quince does this by partnering directly with ethical top-tier factories, and they cut out the middlemen to deliver luxury quality pieces at half the price of similar brands. It's the kind of wardrobe upgrade that feels smart, stylish, and effortless. Find your fall staples at Quince. Go to quince.com/DSM for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada, too. That's QUINCE.com/DSM to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DSM. This podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states. This is Death, Sex, and Money from Slate. I'm Anna Sale. Nick Offerman has also voiced a number of audiobooks, his own, a few Mark Twain books, and 3 collections of Wendell Berry essays, The Need to Be Whole, The World-Ending Fire, and The Unsettling of America. Nick has talked often about his affection for Wendell Berry's writing. including in his 2021 book, Where the Deer and the Antelope Play, which has the subtitle, The Pastoral Observations of One Ignorant American Who Loves to Walk Outside. I want to read a few sentences you write in the introduction of your book where you're describing to the reader why Wendell Berry's writing has been so animating to you. You write, the spirit running through Mr. Berry's writing, a farming and life philosophy I would come to know as agrarian, appealed to my core and curiosity in a way that has not yet abated. Agrarianism promotes an egalitarian agriculture based on morally sound land use. Then you write, slow down, please, and read that last sentence again. Have you ever read a sentence even half that boring? And I love that because you're at once telling us this ethic of how to treat one another and our relationship to the natural world is foundational for me. And you are saying, I know this is boring and uncool sounding.
I work in television. And so, I mean, whether I'm writing a book or talking to you at a dinner party, I'm immediately like, let me tell you how excited I am about soil health. And as soon as I hear those words, I'm like, Jesus, man, this is terrible television. Like, but that's the thing. That's the complication of me is I also make my living from television. The way that I feel that I avoid full hypocrisy is by encouraging people to, I love television. And I say, but I use it judiciously as a dessert. I also love whiskey, but I don't just drink it all day. And so the vast majority of work that I've been involved in, I would prescribe as medicine. Like Parks and Recreation is a very medicinal show. It's a very good-hearted show promoting a lot of the values that we're talking about. And so I love for people to watch that, but like for an hour. I also love people to read a book, and I love people to grow a garden and play with their kids.
You know, I have felt that in my own life, like this split where I'm pretty clear on some small c conservative values I have around nature and family and taking care of one another. And also, you know, I like my streaming television. And so I have felt this sort of straddle. And something I sometimes have felt in reading Wendell Berry is I feel drawn to it and I aspire to what he writes. Things like about the hazards of specialization or what we lose when we don't work with our hands. And I don't work with my hands, right?
Right. Sorry, there's a goldfinch at the bird bath that is literally flashing in my peripheral vision.
Right on time.
And I've had to. Now that I've told you about it, I can clock back in.
No, well, I think that gets at it, that we can have a podcast interview over the internet and you can look outside the window and appreciate a goldfinch all at once, and it's not a contradiction.
Here's the thing, but I mean, that's the conundrum, and this is, you know, this is not news, but the conundrum is we humans can live and by definition will live with that straddle. We as a civilization will have a percentage of our attention and our affection go toward Mother Nature's creation, and we will have a percentage of our attention go toward pleasing our own desires and satiating our hungers and our consumptions. And it's understanding the balance we need to strike with that. It would actually be painfully easy to resolve this straddle, to do things in a sustainable way. The problem is our world is built by capitalism, and the capitalists have put protections in place so that the problem with switching to sustainable industries and energy sources and so forth is that it changes who's making the money. And the people that are making the money the world is protected to keep them making the money, to the point where they've changed legislation so there can be more fecal matter in your hamburger. Any big corporate effort has protections in place so that that we can't switch off of tobacco without a lot of trouble. But yet we are switching off tobacco.
And in your life, when you think about how you navigate this straddle, how do you think about, just generally when you think about what you want to do with your money in this lifetime? How do you think about living Wendell Berry values when you think about? Well,
that's a big question, and it is something that I wrestle with a lot because, like, in my heart, in the sort of soul of my artistry, now let me just briefly barf after saying that phrase. In the soul of my artistry, I should be living on a little farm, with 4 kids running around in the yard and like the livestock of my choosing, etc. But I don't. I'm a actor, writer, woodworker living in the weirdest urban sprawl in America, in Los Angeles, an entire gigantic populated city where there really shouldn't be a city if we're using natural resources sustainably. And yet it's my work and my bride and our happy life here keep me here. And so it was sort of a source of shame for a while because to nutshell it, I keep telling people to grow a garden, and then I don't have a garden because I'm on the road 7 months a year entertaining people, telling people to garden. And please bring me. If you have a good turnip, bring it to my show, and I will shake a little salt on it and eat the hell out of it.
When you think about the writing of Wendell Berry's, that's somebody who spends most of their time behind a laptop, maybe in a city. Like, is there a particular essay that you feel like you wish more of those people would read?
I mean, his big hit, his White Album or his Abbey Road is The Unsettling of America from 1977, which you can listen to in audiobook form, read to you by a voice that sounds a lot like this one you're hearing now. It's incredible, and in 2 years there's going to be a 50th anniversary edition of it, which I'm really excited for. But he is a poet and a writer of fiction and essayist. I would pick a pithy poem because for the TikTok generation, there's a poem called Questionnaire, and it's really brutal. And there's a good chance that I have the ability. I have a note of my Wendell Berry poems.
Oh, in your phone?
Yeah.
Oh.
For moments just like this. Would you like me to read it?
Yes, please.
Questionnaire by Wendell Berry. How much poison are you willing to eat for the success of the free market and global trade? Please name your preferred poisons. For the sake of goodness, how much evil are you willing to do? Fill in the following blanks with the names of your favorite evils and acts of hatred. What sacrifices are you prepared to make for culture and civilization? Please list the monuments, shrines, and works of art you would most willingly destroy in the name of patriotism and the flag. How much of our beloved land are you willing to desecrate? List in the following spaces the mountains, rivers, towns, farms you could most readily do without. State briefly the ideas, ideals, or hopes, the energy sources, the kinds of security for which you would kill a child. Name, please, the children whom you would be willing to kill. That's
Wendell punches you in the gut.
Yeah, that'll get your attention. But that's the idea. It's just, we all can watch our streaming stories and be good stewards to our farmers and our land and our natural resources.
That's the other part of his writing that I very much appreciate as somebody who doesn't live close to land management or water management in my life now. I feel like he forces me to take responsibility for what my consumption depends on as far as the producers of energy and food.
Mm-hmm. There's a sense we talk about that you vote with your dollar in the grocery store, because that's what occurred to me at a dipshit bachelor in Chicago at age like 25. The simple fact that we no longer know what's in our food or if it's good for us, which means it's not like, we're like, God, this food is so cheap. How did it get so cheap? And it's because it's been legislated that it no longer has to be nutritious. And here we are.
This episode is brought to you by Saks Fifth Avenue. Here's what happens when you go to Saks.com and browse around a little bit. You very quickly get a sense of what is happening in fashion. It's basically like walking the streets of the most fashionable block in New York City without leaving my house. For instance, maybe you have been wondering what is happening with jeans right now and what is my jeans personality. Well, you can go to Saks.com, just go to the clothing vertical, scroll down to where it says jeans, click on that, and then there it is, all of these different jean silhouettes. The barrel silhouette, wide leg, high-rise, straight leg jean, something called the half-pipe ankle jean from Mother. There's Rag & Bone, Good American, Cynthia Rowley, Frame, designers and brands I know, and ones that I'm glad I'm discovering. There is so much to explore at Saks.com based on your personal style and what you are looking for. So this fall, whether you're going to try out the latest fashion trends or looking to curate a closet that stands the test of time, Saks has you covered. And listen to this. They have in-store stylists there to guide and inspire you, helping you find pieces that fit every aspect of your lifestyle. Or if you prefer online shopping, Saks.com offers a curated selection tailored to your taste, from new arrivals by your favorite designers to stylish pieces for your everyday needs. If you want shopping to be fun and easy, then head to Saks Fifth Avenue for inspiring ways to elevate your personal style every day. Hey, it's Anna Sale, and I want to thank you for listening to Death, Sex, and Money, where I explore the big questions and hard choices that are often left out of polite conversation. Follow the show on Amazon Music for more future episodes, or just ask, Alexa, play the podcast Death, Sex, and Money on Amazon Music. Okay, even with the healthiest diet, it can be hard for your body to get the key nutrients it needs. And for people like me who don't have the healthiest diet, who might skip breakfast and just have a couple of cups of coffee, it can also be hard to get the key nutrients you need. And that's why I have really enjoyed starting my day with AG1. It has become this thing while I make my coffee. I get the AG1 out of the fridge, I put a scoop and water, I shake it up, and I drink my nutrients while my coffee is brewing. And here's what it is. AG1 Next Gen is a daily health drink that's been clinically shown to support gut health and fill in common nutrient gaps with its 5 probiotic strains and over 75 vitamins and minerals. But AG1 Next Gen isn't just another supplement. It's a simple habit to support your whole body health. Again, 1 scoop mixed in water once a day. every day. Plus, AG1's clinically backed formula is now available in delicious new flavors like tropical berry and citrus. Head to drinkag1.com/DSM to get a free welcome kit, including a bottle of vitamin D and free AG1 travel packs when you subscribe. That's drinkag1.com/DSM. So Nick Offerman does not tend lovingly to his own garden, but enabling cultivation and creation is one of the happy benefits of his successful career in Hollywood. He supports the Berry Center financially and Japan House at the University of Illinois, which teaches students and the public about tea ceremony, kabuki theater, and ikebana flower arranging, and Offerman Woodshop, the commercial but small-scale woodworking studio in Los Angeles.
I have usually 5 employees, and they are my garden plants, and I lose money every year making sure they are healthy and robust and full of nutrition. I pay my woodworkers better than anybody else pays their woodworkers because I win the lottery every year as an actor. And so it's no skin off my nose to make sure they have good benefits and make sure that they are having a happy life. Because like what I'm taught by American industrialism is that I'm a jackass. What I should be doing is like cranking a whip over there and cranking out a chair
Scale,
factory.
baby. Yep.
And I could be making another $17 a day. Am I crazy? And my answer is yes.
I do wonder, having grown up in a family where industriousness and service was very much valued, did you have to come to your own sort of justification for the value of art and beauty for its own sake? Was that something in your family culture, or was that something that you had to make peace with because of what moved you?
I'm not sure I fully grasp your question.
My question is, my mom comes from a farming community, and there's a real sense of you spend your time doing things with outputs that help other people, you know, whether that be the food you cook and share with a neighbor, the things you do on your land, the way you help your neighbor fix a fence, writing a poem, or spending time doing a tea ceremony, or looking at a painting, don't have necessarily always that same value. It sort of could be seen as extra or frivolous.
I mean, one of the scrolls hanging in my shop says, "The way of the art is the way of the Buddha." And I can embroider that neatly, for myself anyway, into a novel of Wendell's called The Memory of Old Jack, in which he speaks really beautifully about how a farmer, their farm is their work of art, the way they curate their life, the way what they communicate to their neighbors with the way their farm looks from the road, the way they maintain their garden, the way they keep their animals, their fields. Like when he took me out and showed me some equipment in his barn that they used to, cultivating equipment, they used to draw with horses, and they had all these great little levers. And he said every furrow and every row was a work of art. And you would walk past people's fields and admire them and say, "That's pretty work." We would always say, "That is very pretty work." And
I like that.
And I can easily, and my mom and dad did their version of that, where they built so much of our home and the accessories and trappings and our clothes. They taught me that you can curate and build your life. You don't have to, you're not limited to the choices in the Crate and Barrel website. You can build whatever goddamn table you want. And that is beautiful and magical. And you can apply that to every aspect of your life. And so even as a kid, we were celebrated, You bring home works of art from school. And Mom and Dad were both making stuff around the house. It was practical stuff. Like, Mom wasn't an oil painter. She was making curtains for the dining room. But she also wallpapered the dining room, including like trim strips of like a deluxe wallpaper job. So they were quietly telling us. I mean, it didn't seem like a big leap to me. And I love art. Megan is an incredible art collector, and I love the art in our house. I feel like I try to make every aspect of my life possible a work of art. And that's something I've learned from Megan as well, that everything you do is an opportunity for creativity, whether it's making meals, the outfit you choose every day, the way you greet others, the self that you turn to the world. It's all an opportunity for delight and creativity and growth. Where can I engender more affection? And so can I read you another Wendell Berry poem that's short? This is the one that I identify with the most. A Warning to My Readers by Wendell Berry. Do not think me gentle because I speak in praise of gentleness, or elegant because I honor the grace that keeps this world. I am a man, crude as any, gross of speech, intolerant, stubborn, angry, full of fits and furies. That I may have spoken well at times is not natural. A wonder is what it is.
Oh.
That's the thing, is I own a mirror. I'm never unaware of what a clumsy jackass human I am. And so all of, the answer to sort of the question that you started the interview with is like, I'm just kind of trying to save myself every day, where I'm like, okay, if I take this set of values and try to then regurgitate them in my work for others, and fortunately I can do that in a few different mediums, then that keeps me out of the pub. That's it. There it is.
And the latest way Nick is regurgitating these values for the next generation is teaching kids how to appreciate a solid piece of hardwood, how to prepare and cut and shape it in the junior woodworking book, Little Woodchucks.
Did you read the book?
I read about butt joints. That was the part that really...
Right?
I was like, okay, my 9-year-old will get into this. Well, I'll read the butt joint section.
I know what I'm about. Well, here's the thing. Woodworking books are generally really dry, where it's like, okay, hope you got some walnut. Okay, just a little joke there, guys. Anyway, because you're not there for charm. You're there to learn how to use a table saw. But I want charm. I want my table saw teacher to also, I want to enjoy him or her. And so this book for kids, it's not so secretly a manifesto to everybody. Make stuff with your kids. Make stuff with your neighbors. Just make stuff together. Teach each other. Make mistakes. Have fun that doesn't require a phone or an iPad. Like, everybody put your screens away. Go in the other room. Look your kid in the face. There's so much more to do in that face than you'll ever get from a goddamn Elon Musk app. And take your kid by the hand and feel the strength in their arm. And let them feel the strength in your arm. And move your arms back and forth a little bit. That the things that you can do together are so glorious and wild. And nobody is selling you that because nobody's making money off of it. There's so many things you can do for free with like some sticks and glue and paper with your kids. And the thing is, then they'll become software designers. I don't give a shit. I know we're not going to not have robots, but we're always going to need humans and human creativity and daring do and adventure. So this book just fits completely into my whole ethos. Like, in woodworking, you're going to need to find somebody in your community who can provide you with wood. And we tell you how to do that. Don't go to Home Depot. That's part of the rapacious force that is consuming our world's resources. Find somebody in your neighborhood who cuts up firewood or has a tree come down. Then you're using wood that would go to the landfill, and so forth and so on. I mean, I think that's the answer to the larger question you started with.
That's Nick Offerman. His new book is Little Woodchucks, and his movie Sovereign is available to rent on Apple or Amazon. And those two Wendell Berry poems he read, Questionnaire and A Warning to My Readers, they're available in the collection New Collected Poems from Counterpoint Press. Thank you to them for allowing us to share those Wendell Berry poems with you in full. And you can read them in my newsletter this week and see the trailer of the documentary about Wendell Berry that Nick helped produce. Subscribe to that newsletter at annasale.substack.com. It'll be out this Friday. This episode was produced by Andrew Dunn. The rest of the Death, Sex, and Money show team includes Zoe Azoulay and Cameron Drews. Daisy Rosario is our senior supervising producer. Mia LaBelle is the head of Slate Podcast, and Hillary Fry is Slate's editor-in-chief. You can support the production of our show by joining our membership program, Slate Plus. You'll get bonus episodes of our show and other Slate shows like Decoder Ring and How To. And you can listen to Slate's full podcast catalog without ads. Subscribe directly to Slate Plus from the Death, Sex, and Money show page on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or visit slate.com/DSM Plus to get access wherever you listen. Our theme music is by the Reverend John DeLure and Steve Lewis. And if you're new to our show, welcome. We're glad you're here. Find us and follow us on Instagram at Death, Sex, Money. And you can reach us anytime with voice memos, pep talks, questions, or critiques at our email address, deathsexmoney@slate.com. We love hearing from you. One more reason Nick Offerman says his career looks so hodgepodgey. As an actor, he says he's a specific taste.
I'm not a popular product. I'm not a McDonald's sandwich. I'm more of like a Reuben with a special sauce.
A delicious sandwich,
that may
if
be
I ever heard.
a little over-egging the pudding. I'll take that back. Maybe just a well-seasoned empanada.
I'm Anna Sale, and this is Death, Sex, and Money from Slate.